This video is about the various workflows and software options available today to build custom metahumans.
If you've spent any time in Unreal Engine, you've seen Metahumans. They're amazing, right? But let's be honest, they're all starting to have that look. You know the one. Well, today, we're going to fix that. We're going to talk about how to break out of that mold and create digital characters that are truly 100% yours. All right, here's the plan. First, we'll tackle the metahuman conundrum. Then, we'll get into the weeds and unlock their DNA. From there, it's all about the tools, the customization toolkit. We'll also look at a totally different route, the character creator path, and wrap it all up by figuring out how you can choose the right workflow for you. Okay, first up, the metahuman conundrum. I mean, this is really the whole reason we're here, right? It's this quest for a unique digital human. This quote just nails it. The metahuman look is becoming generic. And look, as artists, we want to bring our own stuff to life, you know? We want that incredible fidelity, but we want it for our creations. It's all about taking that amazing tech and pouring your own unique artistic vision into it. So, if we want to customize a metahuman, we can't just jump in and start sculpting. We gotta understand the rules of the game first. We need to unlock the DNA and really get a handle on the rig. And this is the key to everything, the metahuman DNA file. Seriously, this is the blueprint. It contains what's called rig logic for the face, and it defines the whole shebang, the topology, the bones, the blend shapes. You have to think of it like, well, actual DNA. If you want to change something, you can't just ignore the source code. You've got to work with it. And just to give you a sense of what we're talking about, look at this number, 800. That's roughly how many tiny facial joints are working under the hood to drive the face. This isn't some simple puppet rig. It's basically a digital simulation of muscles moving under the skin, and that is where that insane realism comes from. So this complex system is really made of a few core things working together. You've got this unified topology, which is just a fancy way of saying every metahuman has the same mesh layout. That's super important. Then you have the bone-driven rig. Those 800 joints we just talked about, doing about 90% of the heavy lifting for facial movement. But then, to really sell it, you have blend shapes. These are like little corrective tweaks that fix things, like when a cheek squishes up and loses volume. And of course, it's all built to be compatible with ARKit, which is great for facial capture. The takeaway here, it's all connected. You mess with one part, you're messing with the whole system. Okay, so we get it. It's complex. So the big question is, how in the world do you change anything without the whole thing just exploding? Well, that brings us to the customization toolkit. A bunch of amazing tools have popped up to help us forge our own path. Now, a lot of the time, your journey is going to start right here with something called topology wrapping. You've got your custom head, right? Maybe it's a scan, maybe it's something you sculpted. You use a tool like ZWrap to basically shrink wrap the standard metahuman topology right onto your custom mesh. It's like making a key. Your custom sculpt is the blank, and wrapping it cuts the teeth so it fits perfectly into the metahuman ignition. It has to match. Once you've got that mesh prepped, you're at a crossroads. There are basically 3 main paths you can go down, and it really depends on what software you're comfortable with. You've got a path for Blender, a path right inside Unreal Engine, and a path for Maya. So let's break these down. For all you Blender artists out there, you've got Polyhammer. This thing is wild. It lets you edit the DNA file directly in Blender and see the results live. Super powerful. Now, if you'd rather stay inside Unreal, Mesh Morpher is your jam. It's perfect for quick tweaks, creating morph targets, and fitting the skeleton to your new shape without ever leaving the engine. For the big studios running a serious pipeline, Metapipe for Maya is an absolute powerhouse for automating conversions. And finally, if you're working on a hero character and need every single detail to be perfect, like an exact actor likeness, then you'll want to use Epic's official manual workflow in Maya. It gives you the most control, bar none. But wait, there's more. What we've talked about so far is all about modifying an existing metahuman. But what if you don't want to do that? What if you want to build a character from scratch with a totally unique body, clothes, everything, but have it still work with all the awesome metahuman animation tech? Well, that leads us down a fundamentally different path. And that path is Reallusion's character creator. Now, the whole mindset here is different. You're not trying to make a metahuman. Instead, you're building a metahuman equivalent. Think of it as a character that's designed from day one to be a drop-in replacement. It speaks the same language, has the same bones, it's fully compatible. And you really need to know the difference between Character Creator 4 and 5 because the jump was massive. With CC4, you still had to do a bunch of retargeting because the skeleton was different. But with CC5, It uses the identical skeleton. That means it works with the Metahuman control rig right out of the box. No fuss. It has full support for Metahuman Animator, and the fidelity is right up there. With all the fancy corrective morphs for things like sticky lips, it's a huge leap forward. This really puts that evolution in perspective. CC4 was basically a one-way trip. You made a head and you sent over to the Metahuman system. That was it. But CC5, it's a dual workflow. Yeah, you can still send a head over if you want. Or you can just use the entire character you built directly in Unreal as a fully compatible drop-in replacement. You get to keep your custom body, your custom clothes, all of it. And it still plays nice with all the Metahuman animation tools. That's a game changer. All right, we have covered a ton of ground here. We've gone from editing DNA files all the way to building entirely new compatible characters. So with all these forks in the road, how do you know which one to take? Let's bring it all together. So, which workflow should you choose? Look, there's no single right answer. It all depends on what you're doing. If you live and breathe Blender, Polyhammer is a no-brainer. If you need to iterate super fast without leaving the engine, Mesh Morpher is your best friend. For big studios that need automation, Metapipe is the production powerhouse. If you're chasing that absolute pinnacle of fidelity for a main character, you'll want Epic's official Maya tools. And if you want a super flexible, full character pipeline from the ground up that's still compatible with everything, Character Creator 5 is, without a doubt, a fantastic option. At the end of the day, all these tools and workflows are all about one thing: giving you, the artist, the power back. They're about letting you go beyond the presets to create something that's genuinely unique, something that's emotionally real. Your unique character is just waiting to be made. The only question is, which path are you going to take?